Happy Friday, guys, and welcome in here to WagerTalk TV. This is Puck Time. I am, of course, Andrew McGinnis, alongside Carmine Bianco, as usual, and Mr. Andy Lang, who I was just with on Prop It Up. I recommend you guys check that show out every single week with myself, Andy, and Matt Josephs. Today, guys, 4 games on tap in NHL playoff hockey action. We have the Hurricanes, Islanders, Bruins, Panthers, Stars, Wild, and the nightcap that I don't think anybody was expecting. The Seattle Kraken took last game. They're taking on the Avalanche here tonight once again. Carm, how was your night last night, man? And what do you have going on tonight for your clients?
Yeah, it was a small, profitable NHL. It was 2-2, but bigger play did come in 4% on the Vegas Golden Knights in regulation. But a good day overall, 6-2, I think, 2-0 MLB sweep, 2-0 in soccer as well too. And I'm fired up. I've got a big card in NHL today, a couple of soccer plays as well too, and a best bet selection in NHL as well too. It's been a fantastic run, and I'm hoping to keep it going. Man, I'm fired, Andrew. I filled this WagerTalk ceramic mug with 6 espressos this morning while I did my work. So I'm a little, I might be going to Andy today on this show, but let me tell you, just a quick story before I go to Andy. When I was in New York, the bill came for the first night's dinner with my brother, my buddy, and Ariel, who came with one of Kelly's friends, Amanda. And the bill comes, and my brother looks at the bill and goes, "Who had 16 espressos?" My buddy, who was fired up the whole day, ordered a mug of espressos. He drank 12 espressos in a mug. How his heart did not stop or explode is beyond me. Can you imagine drinking 12 espressos in a big coffee mug? Like he didn't sleep that night. As you can, I'm just glad he actually was still alive at the end of the day. But speaking of being alive, this man lives each and every day. I love him, Mr. Same Game Parlay himself, Andy Lang. What's going on? What's going on at WagerTalk for you, my friend?
He surely got overcharged. There wasn't 16 espressos in one mug. It was a highway robbery. They took advantage of an inebriate. He was overserved. We'll say that with espresso. Things are going great. I mean, we cashed all 3 of our Formula One qualifying plays, so day's already off to a +6 unit start. 15-5 the last 20 plays, doing really well. We have a 4% NBA play that is up, but we're just attaching all of our plays for today for that. So MLB, NHL, we've got a 4% lacrosse play that goes tonight, got a 4% NBA play, and then we'll have our NHL plays up. So looking forward to this weekend. Got a 4% play in UFC that is up. So really happy with the last 3 days. Looking forward to a good weekend as well.
Awesome stuff, Andy. And guys, we always preach the 3-day passes or 7-day passes. And I think that for the 3 of us, it's a really good example with all the different sports that we're doing. And Andy, you're a prime example of a 3-day pass. If anybody's buying an individual pick from you, I don't know why, because they should be buying a full day pass or a 3-day pass. You're doing so many different sports. And same thing with Carmine. I know he's got lots of soccer action going this weekend. I'll have UFC, I'll have MLB, I'll have NHL, potentially some NBA stuff. So guys, don't forget to check out those 3-day passes and some extended stuff as well, as you are saving money. We are not trying to sell you guys on buying more. You're saving money instead of just buying that 1-day pass there or the one pick alone. Let's jump into our first game here. We have the New York Islanders and Carolina Hurricanes going head-to-head tonight. New York, -120. Carolina, +100. Total, 5.5. Shaded heavily, and I mean heavily, towards the under here at -140. Carm, we'll go to you first for your thoughts on this game and your current thoughts on the series as well.
This line is about as perfect a line, Andrew, as you can get. You have to make the Islanders a small favorite at home. Of course, I get it. You can't put big plus money, or when I say big plus money on the Carolina Hurricanes, I'm talking about like +120, +125, because everyone would jump all over it. The Canes probably should have closed out that series, but they didn't. They made 3 errors in that game. All 3 led to them losing that game against the Islanders. If they play a mistake-free game, the series is over. I feel the same way about another game we're going to discuss later on, but the Canes should end it here. It looks like it could be Freddie Anderson in goal after Ranta has been in net for the previous 5 games in this series. I like the Canes here. I think they close it out. They're a better team than the Islanders. The Islanders survived that the closeout of the series, and we've seen 3 of 4 teams, them being one of them, stave off elimination. Tampa did it yesterday. Florida did it as well too. The only team that didn't was the Winnipeg Jets. They went down in flames yesterday. But the right side here is, I have to believe, is Carolina. And then as far as the total, there are a couple books on our live lines that you see the 5 instead of the 5.5, and it's the same juice. It's either 5 over minus 140, or it's under 5.5 minus 140. And it's right, because this is likely one of those 3-2 games, and then you have to worry about if you have the over of sweating, let's say, the empty netter, or the conversely the other way around, where you have the under 5.5 and you're sweating, much like people did in yesterday's game with Winnipeg, 8 minutes of empty net opportunities for your under to get crushed. So I think the right play here is the under. If you can get it at 5.5, if you get it at 5, I wouldn't touch the under. 3-2 gets you there, and 3-2 is a likely score here. 3-1 is a likely score here, but Carolina is the right side for me in this one. Andy, give me your thoughts. In a low-scoring game, are you looking at no for your shot props?
Well, this series has been a little bit tough on some of the props. I haven't had a ton of them. We've been pretty low volume and very selective. 3-1 just the last few days. So I'll take that winning percentage all day long. I guess I keep coming back to Sebastian Aho every single time. I keep trying to go somewhere else. I keep coming back to him. They still have his shots on goal at 2.5. It is minus 150, but he had 1 shot in game 1, but since then he's had 4, 3, 3, and 4. So you love that consistency, getting over 2.5. Minus 150 is reasonable on that. You could also take him to have a point. He's had a point in 4 out of 5 games this series. He has 6 points total. The game he didn't have a point was where they only scored 1 goal. So Sebastian Aho has just been very active and just a part of all these scoring plays. His shots is going over, so I think you could do something with Aho. I guess I would lean to go over his shots if I had to pick one. There's no reason you can't take both of them and hope to cash both, but I think I go with the shots on goal. I like 2.5 as a little bit low number. They haven't moved this up to 3.5. I doubt we see a 3.5. So just go with Aho on his shots on goal over.
It's so nice, Andy, in a series that's very low scoring that you can get a really good price with props, and looking at just the price on him alone to get a singular point, not a power play point or any type of special point, just literally to get a point is such a reasonable price for what I would say is the best player on that team, because every game seems to be so tight checking, low scoring, and things like that. Guys, last game between these two clubs, I had the over. And I was a bit disappointed. We saw so many shots fired from Carolina. We saw, I think, 1 or 2 goals get called back. The power play percentages, it was 0 for 4 for Carolina, 0 for 3 for the New York Islanders. And as we all know, special teams has been huge in this series for both. But guys, when I look at this one, I want to kind of take a book out of the New York Islanders, really a page out of that book. And instead of taking Carolina in this one, I'm actually just going to wager on the team total under 2.5 for the New York Islanders. Carolina didn't get it done at home, which was very surprising to me. That's a spot where they do very well, especially early in the playoffs. But the key to success for the Hurricanes is simply their defense. Now, anybody that knows me knows that a lot of times in elimination games, I look for reasons to bet overs or team total overs or third period overs because things usually open up. But I believe we will see the old-fashioned Carolina Hurricanes when Rod Brind'Amour is delivering his speech before the game or the day before to Carolina. I don't think he's firing his team up to go score some goals. He's firing them up to play the best defensive game, clog things up. And I'm sorry, if you like high-scoring hockey games, if you like lots of action, you might not like this game because this could be a boring hockey game, but that's really what Carolina wants. I mean, if you have Carolina getting 37 shots on goal and they're only scoring 2, Sorokin's playing very well. So what you do is you try and shut down the Islanders, play their game, and I believe Carolina is like that, but just better. So I think they played a little bit too open, and I feel like if they kind of close things down a bit, you can get a really good number there. Updated price on that one, under 2.5 team total for the Islanders is -105. So that's my move here today with this game. Islanders team total under 2.5 goals.
Andrew, I like that play. Andrew, let me tell you something. If Jordan Airy's watching right now and he's got the music soundtracks, as you finish talking about the Hurricanes, we need a little Scorpions music. And you know the Scorpions, don't you? Actually, you might be too young to know the Scorpions, but they have a song called Rock You Like a Hurricane. That would be perfect because hopefully that's what happens tonight to the New York Islanders. They get rocked by a hurricane. But with that said, we have another game to talk about.
I always feel so bad when I don't know your music, Carm. I wish I did.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. The only place you're going to hear that song is where there are poles coming off of stages. That's the only place you're going to hear that song these days.
Well, these days you won't really find me there, Andy.
I get it, man. You're a Miley Cyrus kind of guy or whatever. Like, go back and watch some of the Britney Spears videos on YouTube, Andrew. It might get you fired up for a night with your better half. Who knows?
Yeah. And later on in May, she's going to see Taylor Swift, and I'll tell you what, I'm staying home. I'm not going. That's for sure. Second game up for today, guys. Let's jump right into it. Should be a good one here. Let's get into the Boston Bruins.
We seem to have lost Andrew. The Boston Bruins are -180 tonight in Game 6. Florida Panthers +150. The total in this game is 6 shaded to the over. Andy, I'm going to go to you first on this one, and then hopefully we'll get Andrew back for his thoughts, and I'll give you mine. But from a prop point of view, I was pretty disappointed with Matthew Tkachuk in the last game. He scores the game winner, so the Florida fans aren't disappointed, but he didn't get anywhere close to his shot props in that game. Give me your thoughts while Andrew gets rocked by a hurricane.
Yeah, there's quite a few props that you can be looking at in this game. I mean, just a few of them. Sam Bennett has been great on his shots on goal prop. I hit this one the other night, and I think you're still getting a fantastic price on it. Taylor Hall to have a point is still -110. He has a point in 4 straight games. He has 8 points this series, so he's just kind of been involved in a lot of these goals. And then Carm, I think Aaron Ekblad's hurt. He's been a disaster. He does not have any points this series, and he missed game 4 after the hit. You can take his under 2.5 shots on goal. He has no shots on goal the last 2 games he's played in. He's got a couple of missed shots, but none on goal. I don't know. I don't. I mean, obviously, you don't tune in to watch Aaron Ekblad, but I don't know. He leaves the game early. He misses a game. Does not have any shots on goal, and to not have a point is -165. This is a guy that has no points in this series. So I as many Florida Panthers are involved with shots and all the scoring, it's just not been Ekblad. Whereas, for the Bruins, Pasternak's been a disappointment up and down with his shots on goal props. But I'm finding success with Taylor Hall. I know Bertuzzi, he did not have a point last game, but Bertuzzi was on a really nice streak. So you could go that way. But I really like Ekblad kind of fading him and taking some of his unders. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I've noticed his number, and when I looked at this game earlier on DK, I'm seeing the over 2.5 shots for Ekblad were always juiced, and it's like a -115, and you're trying to figure out why. But the one thing that has been a constant in this series for you guys in the chat when we're talking about this game, and Andrew, just to let you know, has lost power at his place, so he might have been rocked by a hurricane. We don't know if we're going to be able to get him back on the show. But with that said, you look at some of these players for Florida. And a lot of the times, if I like a team in a game, and I like the Bruins obviously in this one, I will look at shot props for the other team as well too, for some of their better players, and it's worked admirably in these playoffs. I've been making money off of it, and this is one of those ones. You look at some of these Florida players, and they just aren't getting it done in Boston. But at home, much better numbers. Matthew Tkachuk, his shots are always at 3.5. He's gone over the total in both games in Florida, hasn't come anywhere close to it in Boston, 4 and 6. I'll talk about more of that during my best bet segment, which I've kind of ruined. You look at Alexander Barkov, same thing, games 3 and 4 in Florida. He goes over his shot total. He's been pretty much invisible every other game, games 1, 2, and 5 in Boston. So taking these guys at home with their shot props, I think, is a much better proposition for you to do in order to make money. If you take these guys, as I mentioned, I think Tkachuk and Barkov, I bet you they both go over their totals. As far as Andy's talk about Ekblad, I don't want to go near that Ekblad one because I don't know what is wrong with him. I just wouldn't want to take that one. I think the forwards are going to be more involved than the defense in this one. Andy, we're going to go on to the next game because Andrew, as I said, has lost some power. Either that or he's watching Miley Cyrus.
Actually, real quick, Carm,
Yeah.
can we the chat is doing a great job, as always, bringing up some topics and everything. And since we lost Andrew here, there's a lot of talk about parlays. Can I talk a little bit about parlays?
Yes. You go right ahead, my friend. I want to hear one.
Well, there's a reason I bring this, and this isn't the same game parlay. This is just parlays in general. The reason I bring this up is we're up 45 units on parlays this year. That's number one in parlays. We're hitting 62% of them. I'm finding more and more value in the parlays, and I think people misunderstand how to use parlays. I think people think, you got to swing for the fences and put like 5 teams, 9 teams in there. And that's just not how you use parlays. So I can give you a little bit of a way of how I really actually use this. You can use cross-sport parlays. For example, in the NBA, the Nuggets and the Suns start tomorrow. I really like the Nuggets to win that series. I think Phoenix is low on depth. But you can get minus 400 at Denver plus 2.5 games. So as long as Denver just wins 2 games, that is a really nice parlay piece. Then you can move to a sport like NHL or even UFC and find another heavily juiced, like if there's a fighter fighting a short notice replacement fighter and he's going to steamroll the guy, you can put those two into a very safe 2-part parlay. We hit an NHL parlay last night where we just took some alternate lines for the totals. These are part of the same game parlays that we talk about. What I've been doing with them is taking some of these series where we have lots of goals being scored by both teams. Perfect example would be the Bruins and the Panthers. You can take a same game parlay on the Bruins on their alt line to score over 1.5 goals tonight, and you can put it with Florida to score 1 goal tonight. That's part of your parlay, and then you can add that with another alt line on a team that you think is going to score it. The Lightning and Maple Leafs have been beautiful for these because both teams are scoring over 1.5, over 2.5 goals. So if you can find these series where both teams are scoring, you can do a lot with their alt line on the team totals, and you don't have to put 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 legs into a parlay. You can take 2 or 3, find really good alt lines and make it profitable. Parlays don't have to be, this huge, well, I'm only going to do it if it's, 20-1 or something. It could be a really good part of your portfolio if you study it and if you use it in low volume. I wouldn't recommend doing parlays every single night, but they're out there. The books are giving us more and more opportunities with these. If you look at it as just a normal bet and you treat it like you normally do your handicapping, you can make money off of it. We're hitting 62% this year, and we're doing it across all sports.
Man, that's a damn pretty good with those parlays. I will take them occasionally, but I haven't been releasing any, Andy, and I think it's just because you have to understand your strengths in the game, and if you're not making money on them, you shouldn't be releasing them. But kudos to you for making money on them and making your clients money on them. All right, speaking of making money, I'm kind of hoping this goes 7 games because I had taken this for some pizza money on this series to go 7 games. So you know who I'm going to be cheering for behind the scenes on this one. Let's have a look at Minnesota and Dallas and the numbers on this one. So this one is pretty much split down the middle, guys. You've got Minnesota minus 110, Dallas minus 110. The total here is 5.5, shaded again, not shaded, actually stacked to the under, minus 135. You could see some 140s in this one, and we'll likely see on our live lines. I'm having a quick look at our live lines to see if any 5s have popped up, and I'm not seeing any as of yet, but I wouldn't put it past that actually happening. Andy, in this one, this is one of those ones where I've been flip-flopping back and forth. Team that loses the first game, I take them in the second, and so on and so forth. When I switch back to Minnesota, I did the exact same thing. The loser of Game 3 took them in Game 4. Dallas wins at home, sends it over to Minnesota now with a chance to close it out. I'm not entirely sure they will close it out. I do like this Dallas team, but I'm looking at a shot prop here, Andy, and I look at it as the big guns for Minnesota have to come out tonight. And when you're looking at that, you have to look at Kirill Kaprizov. His shots on goal prop is 3.5 minus 135. You got to lay some juice, and a lot of people don't like the 3.5s, but this is a guy who puts up big numbers, and it has throughout the season. I'm leaning to that over 3.5, and let me tell you right now, I am leaning to the Minnesota Wild in this one. I want this to go 7 games, so I have a little bit of bias in this one. There's nothing better than Game 7 NHL hockey. Everything is on the line. If the game goes to overtime, all the better. Minnesota, the under, and Kaprizov over 3.5 shots on goal. That's my little same game parlay, Andy. So I'll throw it to you for your thoughts.
Yeah, this series has been tough for me. One thing, if you're looking at props, don't take Heiskanen to have a point. It's minus 180. If you're going to take him to have a point, just take him to have assists. I think he's got 5 points in the series, and they're all assists. 4 of them were in one game, though. So that play has not been good. Kaprizov, how about a stat line from last game, Carm? 1 official shot on goal, 6 misses. 6 misses. So that was a rough one if you were on that one. I normally play Kaprizov over shots on goal. I'm out on him. He's only gone over 2 out of these games, and when you're laying that kind of juice, it's just been a frustrating series. Him and Pasternak both have been not as reliable. The only other one that I might look at is Max Domi to not have a point. He finally got his first point of the series last game. That was a 4-0 win, and he only had 1 assist. He only has 4 shots combined in his last 4 games. Just won at 1 point this entire series. So I would look there. Andrew did a pretty good job talking about how this series in particular, you just got the same guys, kind of getting all the points and all the production. So if you like a team to score, if you like a certain team to win, you can probably double up by taking some of the big names to score some points. I found this one hard to handicap since I'm not on Kaprizov on the shots on goal anymore. Heiskanen to have an assist, Max Domi to not have a point, maybe, but I got to tell you, I think there's much better plays in the prop market than this game tonight.
Yeah, and when you talk about Kirill, Andy, you're looking at his numbers, and I'm literally playing the contrarian on these shot props.
Right.
We expect them to go over. And I'm looking at it because if you look at the regular season, the one thing Dallas has done well is keep this guy from getting shots on goal. 4 games during the regular season, he only went over his number 1 of 4 times. And thus far in the playoffs, he's gone over in 2 of 5 games over the total. But it's just one of those, it's more of a, I'm not relying on stats. I'm relying on feel, if you want to call it that he's going to show up tonight. They need a big game from him. And if you can actually find the net, there's nothing more frustrating. Pasternak did that a couple games ago where he had 3 shots on goal and he missed the net 4 times on a power play. It's just get the puck on the net. But when you're aiming for corners, top corner, bottom corner, it's easy to miss the net. They're not looking to get it hit the chest protector for us so we can cash our shot props. With that said, guys, before we get to the final game, I want to mention Don Buster, our regular guy on Tuesdays, does have a 5% play up at Sports Memo. Head over there, give Buster some love, and we'll see him next Tuesday. Our production crew will have some nice mariachi music for him as we introduce him next week, instead of that music you guys have been come accustomed to. All right, guys, final game on tonight's card. Let's look at it. It is, you guys all love to say it in our chat, so we're going to say it here. Release the Kraken. Seattle Kraken, Colorado Avalanche. The Avs minus 150, Kraken plus 130 at home. The total 6 shaded, 20 cents to the under. Andy, I'm going to go to you on this one. I was going to go to Andrew, but he still has no power. May want to pay that electricity bill with all that money you make, Andrew. But with that said, Game 6, we have his picture up there, but no, Andrew. Game 6 closeout. We've seen only one of 4 teams thus far close it out. We've got some closeout opportunities tonight, of course. Cale Makar back in the lineup for the Avalanche, defending Cup champions. This is to be the first opportunity for Seattle to close it out. Andy, can they do it tonight? And I know you're looking at this from a shot props point of view or a props point of view, but does whether they close it or not have anything to do with where you lean on your props? I know that it does for me. But for you, what's your thought process when you're looking at props in a closeout game?
It's similar to what you were talking about with the Kaprizov, where you say, "Well, I just have a feeling." Well, it's not a feeling; it's the big game, and the stars shine. That's you're going to put the puck to your best player. So I think you probably see Nathan MacKinnon go over his shots on goal. I mean, I can't believe we had a game this series where we had 0 shots on goal. I struggle a little bit with consistency in this series. And as you know, Carm, when we can't really focus on one particular play, that's when we do a same game parlay. So let's do a same game parlay.
It's time for Andy's Don't Play This Same Game Parlay.
All right, let's do a same game parlay for the Kraken and the Avalanche. I am going to start. This is go to your domestic books, click on same game parlay. You can find all of these alt lines in there. We're going to start with the Avalanche over 1.5 goals for their team total. It's going to be the first leg. They did not get there in the first game, but they've gotten there. Hasn't been very confidently. They've only scored a couple goals, but you got to believe they're going to get on the board and cash team total over 1.5. I'm going to take the Kraken under 4.5 goals. This Kraken team has played really well, but they just haven't really scored a ton. They haven't gotten over this number in any of the games so far, and you got to believe Colorado is going to be pretty dialed in on this one. So we're going to take the Kraken under 4.5 goals, and then I am also going to take the Kraken plus 1.5 on the puck line for the first period only. Taking the Kraken plus 1.5 in the first period only. The Avalanche have only won the first period one time in this series, and even that one was 2-1. So the Kraken have either been ahead or tied in all games but one. Even the first period that they lost was a 1-goal game at the end of one. So this has hit every game. So we'll do Colorado team total over 1.5, the Seattle team total under 4.5, the Seattle first period plus 1.5. This is worth a little sprinkle at minus 170.
All right, I like it, and like I said, I look at this game, and I have to believe. There's going to be a ton of pressure on this on this Seattle Kraken team, and Colorado's has to get on board first. That's the great thing that Seattle's done is they found a way to get Colorado to play their game. They shut down that first line. They get on the board first. And the Avs are playing catch up. I think the fact that Makar's back in the lineup and his shot prop is insane. The vig on it, I think it's 2.5 minus 175. But you have to figure MacKinnon again. The big guns are going to show up if they're to stave off elimination and come back home. then I say that the best thing to do is play their big guns. Now, I'm going to mention another prop, guys, with regards to Colorado that I think is a good one, and is this. If you think Colorado is going to win tonight's game in Seattle, check your books for the series price. Right now, the Avalanche are plus 145 to plus 150 at various books to win this series. They are plus money to win this series. If they win tonight's game, and again, it is an if, they win tonight's game, they will open at about the same price that they did in Game 5, which was they opened at about minus 220. They settled in at about minus 200. And at that point, you have a plus 145 ticket on a team that is minus 200 to win a game. If you feel uncomfortable after Game 6 and you want to lock in a profit, the fact that they're going to be minus 200 means that the Kraken are going to be plus 170-ish, plus 180 to win that Game 7. You can take the Kraken and lock in a small profit. So this is a way of taking a plus money bet and avoiding laying 150 or 160 on the Avs tonight. And if they win tonight, you got a chance to lock in a profit regardless for Game 7. So it's a great way to go. And I'll tell you, it's actually a client play that I put up this morning. So I took the Avs plus 145 to win this series. So you know who I'm cheering for tonight. All right, Andy, we've done 4 games. Andrew's done, I don't think, does Andrew get paid for the full episode? Because he was only here for what, a game and a half before his power cut off. Does he get paid? There he is. He looks kind of disgusted by that. It's like, even the hat backwards thing, like it's like he mailed it in this morning with his wardrobe and makeup. Guys, I just put the hat on backwards. I ran out of gel. I'm going to, turn off my power and head to Longo's and do some shopping or whatever, Safeway or whatever it is out there. Let's get into our our best bets of the show. I will mention Andrew's as well, too. We'll have it up on the screen. But Andy, what do you have up at WagerTalk and for today and this weekend? And give us a show best bet.
Got a really good weekend ahead of us. We got 4% NBA play and a 4% lacrosse play that go off tonight. And you can just get our NBA play for tonight, and all the plays for today will be attached, including NHL 3-1 over the last few days. And we're really seeing things well, 15-5 in all sports. A 3-day pass would probably be best, though, because we got 4% play in UFC tomorrow. We already cashed plays in Formula One on qualifying this morning, so we should have a really nice weekend of auto racing as well as MLB, NBA, and NHL. So grab a 3-day pass. I think that's probably the best way to do it. For my best bet today, I'm going back to Anders Lee, who was involved in one of the garbagest, what's the word, garbagiest, messiest, most disgusting, meaningless goals in the NHL playoffs. I believe I believe that helped you on a bet, Carm. But Anders Lee scored the last goal to go up 5-1 in that game. That's his only point of the playoffs. And I have been playing Anders Lee to not have a point, and I'm going to do it again today to not have a point. He only has 1 point. It was a meaningless goal. He's just not involved. He's not getting goals. He's not getting assists. And I think this game tonight is going to be close. And I'm going to keep riding Anders Lee to not have a point.
All right, I like that. Before I do my best bet, Andrew's not here, but what a better time than to throw up that picture of Andrew again and get our producer to basically mimic Andrew's voice and give us Andrew's show best bet. So can we get that picture up? And Dan, our producer, is a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
So Dan,
hey, thanks,
tell us
Carm.
what he's got.
I really appreciate that. I've had a great time on the show today being completely frozen here, and I have a best bet for you. I'm looking at Roop Hintz on the power play. I think he's going to be flying around the ice tonight, and I think if he gets man up, we're going to be looking good on the power play. So give me Roop Hintz over a half power play point. It's plus 165, and I love it. And you can love my cross-sport special offer as well. I've been winning in CFL. I've been winning in NHL. Red hot in the playoffs, up 14 units. So why don't you ride with me, not only in the NHL, but on the gridiron as well. 21 weeks of CFL action and playoffs. So ride with me, Andrew McGinnis, totally not Dan, our producer. back to you, Carm.
that was
so well
fantastic.
done.
I'm not sure.
That was
I'm not sure if did he call him Andy? Did he call him Rupe Hintz or Rooflin? Rooflin Hintz. It could have been Rooflin Hintz.
Roop.
This is why Andrew is frozen on the show today.
I tried my best.
All right, guys. My show best bet. I'm going back to that Bruins game, Game 6 tonight. I didn't win with them the last time I took him in Game 5. I'm going with Matthew Tkachuk, shots on goal, over 3.5, minus 130. In Games 3 and 4 in Florida, he had 4 and 6. The only 2 games he's gone over his shot prop total in this series. So I'll look for him to make it a trio of shot prop winners at home in Florida. A couple plays up in soccer today. 5 plays up tonight. And I mentioned one of them, which is the Colorado Avalanche to win the series at plus 145. But a big weekend. So pick up that 3-day all-access package. It's a great deal, and you get every single play I release through the weekend. There's going to be a 5 in there. So it is a great deal over at WagerTalk. Show recap, guys. We're going to be back on Monday, but let's have a look at the show best bets. Of course, Anders Lee will not have a point, minus 150 from Andy. Matthew Tkachuk from myself, over 3.5 shots on goal, minus 130. And Rupe Hintz, over a half power play points, plus 165 from the man whose favorite children's show is Frozen, the movie, Andrew McInnes. So for myself, Andrew, Andy Lang, and our production crew that are on today, thanks for watching Puck Time, and best of luck with your wagers, guys.
If you love $9 Monday and $2 Tuesday, you're really going to appreciate our new Throwback Thursday when all daily packages are slashed in half. Yes, you heard right, at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, all Thursday daily packages are now 50% off. This means that a 4% package will be only $12.50, a 5% top-rated play, normally priced at $35, will be only $17.50, and the hottest sales item of the day, get a full day of access from the handicappers of your choice. That's one day of every applicable play they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $39 for only $19.50. The best part is you can come back every Thursday to take advantage of this limited time 50% off spring off.